Rob. Basic modeling Rob. I don't think you're called that anymore. You're right. It's not a hurricane. It's a typhoon. All right. Here's the end result of the pre-shading. He's learning how to use an airbrush from the looks of it. Give him 5 or 6 more projects like this will be okay. I catch him in here with alcohol trying to clean it up. That's not the point. You don't clean that up.
Okay.
You do it with the next layer of paint. Okay? It'll clean up with the next layer of paint. Don't worry about it.
All right.
You'll see it when you do it. But what we're here for is cleaning the airbrush. And Dallin, I think I went over this with you once, right? Yeah. Okay. So what you do is you take some alcohol. Since it's Tamiya paint, you can use alcohol.
Okay.
If you're using something else, you can use some lacquer thinner.
All right.
And just squirt the chamber about half full. Okay?
Like
Yeah, like that.
All right.
All right, now get you some of this paper towel.
All right.
Don't worry, I'm not running out of that paper towel. I bought a case of it.
All right.
$10 a case of this will last me 2 years.
All right.
Now spray some of, yeah, now you can't just do that.
Okay.
Go ahead and start spraying.
All right.
Now put that on the nozzle. See how that back flushes?
Oh, yeah.
And that helps clean the needle out. Now go ahead and spray some out and back flush. Okay, now quit spraying. Now take that, wad it up, stick it in there, and wipe it out.
All right.
You can't harm the airbrush doing that. Okay, when you're done, set that aside. Get some,
Just like that.
yeah, now get some more alcohol, put it in there, because that doesn't clean it all out.
Like that?
Oh, yeah? And do the thing again. Spray it and back flush it again.
Okay.
Okay, now you really don't want to breathe the fumes coming off that, but the spray booth sucks the fumes out. They make airbrush cleaners where you can do the same thing, only it's in a sealed jar that captures the fluid and the fumes. And again, but since we're doing this in this massive spray booth, we don't smell any of it. Okay? Now when you're done with that, now take a look in there. It's fairly clean. There's still some residual down underneath.
Okay.
Can't get that out very easily. Take some airbrush cleaner. I'm not recommending this brand. I hate that brand.
All right.
Hate's a strong word. I dislike that brand. Squirt some in there and just spray it through.
Okay. Back flush?
No, you don't have, well, you can back flush a little, but just, it doesn't hurt to back flush a little. That pulls all the solvents out. It replaces the solvents with a soapy, oily mixture.
Okay.
That way you don't mess up the seals in the airbrush. Because lacquers, thinner's bad for the seals. This removes the lacquer thinner.
All right.
That's not the brand I recommend. The brand I recommend is made by the same people that make the Createx paints. The Createx airbrush cleaner's real, this stuff. I like this stuff better.
Okay.
That's available everywhere. It's $6 a bottle, but that bottle lasts a year.
Not bad.
Yeah, and again, I don't really like this. It's too soapy. That's not as soapy.
Okay.
Okay?
Good to know.
And that's how you clean it. Now, since you're using the Tamiya paint, if you want, you can go ahead and get your lighter gray shade
Okay.
and just start lightly spraying over, doing very light passes. You don't want to put it heavy,
Okay.
like you were doing on the wings, the solar panels.
Okay.
Just very lightly
All right.
until you see the color start fading out. And you only want the color to fade out in the big areas, not in the down in the grooves.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Right.
And don't worry if you mess it up. You mess it up, we'll go with post shading.
All right.
Okay?
Sounds good.
This is about learning. All right, coming over here to David.
Okay.
Have you glued the big wings on?
No.
Okay,
that
they're
was
just
a
set on.
test fit.
He's got the tail fins glued on. Are they set on there right?
Good enough for me.
Good enough for you. Let's see.
I don't think they're a little bit crooked. I had to, use the Dremel and cut out.
They're not that bad. What I'm looking at is alignment. I'm not caring about filling seams or anything. Yeah, you got some sloppy glue marks on here we're going to have to clean up.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Okay, and we got a gouge up here we're going to have to fix.
So maybe
Right.
maybe it's worth saying that, last time I used a different glue on it,
And that glue
and I held it
didn't hold up.
forever, and it was just disappointing. So this one I just held on. I used this and held it for about 2-3 minutes and let go, and
It's fine.
we're done. So
That's the dollar store super glue.
the other one left me discouraged.
The other one I have mainly for putting photo etch on because it takes a minute or two to set. And if I have to move the photo etch, I can.
Right, that makes sense.
So I don't use the other one very often.
All right, so that's.
And I don't like the dollar store stuff because we're going to throw this away in probably about an hour.
Gotcha.
It's all going to be dried up. All right.
So, am I set to go ahead and glue?
Look at the. Okay, now first off, look at the seams on these wings. Make sure they're cleaned up. What I would do to make sure is I'd take some of the silver paint, mix it up, and brush paint it around the seam. You're going to see if it's not clean very quickly.
Just right on the seam.
Yeah. You're going to see if it's not clean
And
very quickly.
what tells me that it's not clean?
Well, brush it on and I'll show you.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you got a spot or two that's not clean. Okay.
Yeah, my seats, you can see it too.
Yeah, you can see it very easily with that silver paint.
Okay.
You're going to want to make sure your seams are clean on this too, because this is easier to handle without the wings glued on.
Oh, good.
You want to get all your seams done before you glue the wings
So
on.
should I paint it with this?
Yeah.
Just right down the middle.
Yeah, and it'll show you how bad you did on these if you paint along those. And the paint comes off easy, so it's not a big deal.
Can I paint on that right now with
Yeah.
it just having glued?
Yeah. Yeah. And Dallin, how are you doing? You're doing decal work?
Yeah.
He's getting his decals on his dash, and it's starting to look nice. And that's just a test fitting of all the parts to see what they look like there in the engine bay and with the seats in there. He's doing a pretty good job of this, being his first model kit ever in his entire life.
He rocks.
All right, everyone. I'm working on Zaku, but that's a separate video.
And your micro.
All right, everyone. Now, you remember what it looked like when David was starting. He had the shading down pretty tight. And after going back and forth on it a few times, it's starting to look a lot better. And you can see where he did the shading, pre-shading. Like right in here, these look good. I wouldn't even touch that. And this looks good here. This is looking good in this areas. But right in here, you need to hit it in here with the gray paint a little bit more, following along in there. And I don't know if I'd mess with this here. Okay. I would hit this a little. Just like one more pass. Definitely right there, because you can see where your line goes off.
All right.
But for most of it, I'd leave it alone. Maybe right in there just a teeny bit.
Okay. Perfect.
Right there on that edge.
Will do.
But for the most part, I'd leave it. You're doing good. Okay, now, when you paint the silver paint on there, what you do is you tilt it back and forth from side to side. Like right along here, I can see there's a ridge.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting ridge. I'm not sure. That almost looks like it's part of the. But yeah.
I don't know if it's supposed to be there or not. Okay?
Yeah.
But you can see it. All right?
Right.
And right down in here, you can see
like from right there to there.
But I bet there's supposed to be a line right there. So, but it's supposed to be indented and not raised.
Okay.
Okay?
Gotcha.
Now along here, you can see it's fairly smooth.
Yeah.
But as soon as you turn it sideways, you can see a ridge running along it.
Right.
And that's what's up with the paint. And that's what we're trying to do with the silver paint. Like, you can see you still got a seam along here. I don't know if that seam's supposed to be there or not.
Gotcha.
Okay? And if you had gone a little heavier with the paint along here, you'd be able to see your glue marks.
Right up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
How bad your glue marks are and how to you might have to remove them.
Okay.
Now along the leading edge of the wing, that's going to be smooth, and it looks like you got that pretty smooth.
Yeah, that
I can see a spot right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at the trailing edge. Trailing edge looks good too. So you don't have too much attention doing the wing. Look around the guns.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you got them pretty good too. So you just have one little spot on this wing to fix the seam on.
And that's just with sanding?
Yeah, it's just with sanding.
Okay.
So the wing's in pretty good shape. The fuselage, we need to look and see if those are supposed to be there.
This ridge.
Yeah. And if there's supposed to be a panel line along the top, then you're good. Dallin, you want to show everyone what you've been doing? He's getting the decals in there. And he got them on the engine top. We got a clear coat now to protect all that. And what we're going to do with your instrument clusters next week, so give those decals time to dry, is we're going to take some Future and just drop it in there. Future for finish. It will give them. It'll make them look like there's a glass lens over the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll look good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And next week I'm going to go over what we're going to do to prep your body for paint.
Okay.
Man.
Although we need to have everything done, that's the last thing we do is paint that body.
Yeah.
Because my Gremlin, I'm going to be painting the body on it next week.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay? because it's almost done. You guys can see it over there.
Yeah.
I'm just not working on it right now. So I'm doing the Zaku. Be back in a little while. Hello, everybody. I'm at the point with the Gremlin where I need to paint the body. This is the last thing I'm doing, painting the body and doing the glass. Now, with that green color, I think I'm going to use the purple windshields, not the clear. Because the green and this purple are just going to go really good together. So that's what I'm going to do. See, a spoon wants to stick around so I can do some comparison coloring. These need the future treatment. They're going to get it very soon. I'm going to wait until I have everyone here on Saturday do the glass. But I'm not waiting on the body because I'm trying to get the Zaku done. Okay? You're going to see the Zaku videos way before these because the Zaku videos are being done in real time. And the Gremlin, we're about 2 months into the Gremlin already. So, what I'm going to do right now is primer this thing, and I'm going to look it over real quick. I also have to put something right there because I've already greened the underside of the hood and flat coated it because, you know, the hood has to have some color. Another thing I have to do is I have to touch up some of the paint around the engine bay, and I will do that while I'm painting the green because it's supposed to be green in color around there. Not a big deal to do. You know, I've got the suspension done on the car. I just have a few interior parts left. Here's some Zaku arms. A few interior parts left, and it's done. And those will be done tomorrow. I'll have some time tomorrow for about a half hour, and I'll finish all the detail parts on the body, the chassis, the interior. So again, it is time to paint this thing, and it will be painted Saturday at the latest. Probably tomorrow if I can do it. The hood, the roof looks a little rough to my observation, so I'm going to hit it with a sanding block. I'm using a fingernail block right here. Same thing I've been using on the Zaku to smooth the sides. This work really well. I've got a higher grade one around here someplace. I might use it, I might not, because unlike the rest of this car, this hood and body is getting a primer. I'm going to primer them, then paint them. My goal is to paint them green. The hood, the raised parts on the hood are going to get painted black. I may or may not replicate that black stripe down the center. This is going to have to get painted black afterwards, and there's some detail painting on the sides and the back as well that are going to have to get done. Okay? Like this insert along here should be flat black, I think, to offset the green and the purple real well. I see a little bit of flash work I got to deal with in the windows too. Well, I'm going to get at it. I'm just going to hit it with this fingernail polishing block. It'll smooth it out. Hit it with some Tamiya primer. She'll be ready for her gloss coat tomorrow. I'll be back in a bit. Anytime I come up here by myself, Thunderpaws has to come join me. He doesn't like being by himself. He's a strange little cat. Anyhow, I got the thing ready for primer. I cleaned the body with alcohol before I put it on the stands and cleaned up all the burn marks. There's a couple of things I'm not doing that I know I probably should. This model is to try to get me to relax when I'm model building. I didn't remove the trademark stuff. I may or may not. We'll see. I may paint the interior. I may not. I might just leave it white. A lot of cars had white hood liners. So I might just leave that in there and see if anyone notices. The reason I left the body for last is I want to handle it as little as possible. Once I'm done painting it, I want to put the model together and be done. That's one of the mistakes I made with the Honda is I painted the body too soon and I flexed it too much and I cracked it and broke it and it got scratched and all sorts of stuff. This one, we're not going through those same mistakes. We're painting it. We're not going to handle it much. It's going to be the last thing I do. So, let me get ready to get this thing going. Turn on the spray booth, paint. I'm not going to do it with this camera. The little video camera is here, but you guys have seen me paint enough. Besides, this is rattle can. You don't need to see me doing rattle can. I'll be back in a little bit.